Welcome back, horror fans, cinephiles, and giallo enthusiasts. This is Tanner Leeser, your host for all things giallo here on The King and Giallo. I decided to do a little tier ranking video for all of the giallo films that I covered for 1972. I figured, why not? It's still fresh in my head. I just did my recap video, and to be frank, to be very honest, this is so easy to make. Anybody can make this. Yeah. So I have the 39 giallo films that I covered, which, as I have said, some of these movies you could argue are not giallo films, but who fucking cares? So I have the 39 there down below, and my ranking goes essential. That's the S tier. That is, in my opinion, these are like some of the best. Also, I feel like these movies can be seen by an audience who's not a giallo fan. Love it. A lot of these are self-explanatory. Love it. I love it, and but probably should still be a giallo fan to really appreciate it. Like it, just one step down. Basically, it's like I really do like this. It's just there's just something holding me back from loving it. Worth seeing. Generally, I would classify that as the movie probably doesn't get a whole lot of love. So the giallo films that most people talk about without being like some big nerd who's like, I've seen over 100 giallo films. Those are probably all going to be essential, love it, and like it. Probably worth seeing might also be some of those. These will be a lot of movies also that I think do not have a good release in the United States, and I think they deserve it. So some of those will be in there. Had potential are ones that I like pieces of, but ultimately it's like, yeah, I don't see myself really rewatching this, or at least not often. There's some that immediately come to mind where it's like, yeah, it was interesting, but I mean, I don't really fuck with it. And then Completionists Only. I didn't want to say avoid or waste of time or whatever, because I know a lot of us, it's like, even if I know it's bad, I'm probably still going to see it. There's a lot of giallo films that I know are really hard to track down. It's like, I'm still going to watch it, even if I've heard it's crap. Like, Troy Howard talks about a lot of giallo films, and it's like, this one is essentially lost. It's really hard to find, and it's probably for the best. I'll still watch it, but yeah, I would call that a completionist only film. I threw in all the posters that I used for like the little thumbnails and such in my videos, and it kind of reordered them, I'm assuming based off of how the file was named. So they're not really in order of how I saw them, or alphabetical order, or they are in some form of alphabetical order, I can tell, actually. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so I guess I'm covering these in alphabetical order. I'm just going to get right to it. This should be pretty quick. I'm not going to talk too much about any individual film. If you care to hear more, I have done reviews for all of these movies. The only one I have not done a unscripted talking head movie review for is Case of the Bloody Iris, and that's because I'd covered it a year before I started talking about the 1972 films, because I was covering it for Celluloid Dreams' release of it. So I noticed I never actually gave that movie a review, but I've talked about it plenty. I did the podcast with Steven, and we talked about it along with Your Vice, because those two giallo films came out on the same day. But anyways, so if you want to hear me talk more about any of these movies, you can look up any of the reviews I've done for them. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep this really quick. Okay, White Dress for Mariella. Gosh, this could be one of the first ones I could put down here. I'll say it's worth seeing. God, I'm really torn on that. I might actually move that one later. You know what? Oh gosh, there's things I liked about it, but ultimately it is kind of floppy. I think I'm gonna actually move that down to had potential. I really thought it was just like, I didn't really dig it all that much. A.A. Masseuse, good looking, offers her services. I'll say it's worth seeing. I know some people who absolutely adore this movie. I know someone, you know who you are, who this is, if not their favorite, one of their favorites. I think it's fine. I don't particularly like it, but I don't hate it. Yeah. All the Colors of the Dark. I might start getting flack, but I like it. I can't say I absolutely love it. There's stuff in it I love, but ultimately I don't love it. But it was in my top 10 for the year. I believe it was. Amuck. Amuck I do love. Do I want to say it's essential? I won't say it's essential, but it's up there. It's pretty damn good. Byleth, or Byleth, the demon of incest, is completionist only. This is one that people would say is probably not even a giallo film. And this is one of the things where it's like, I won't argue with you, because it's ultimately, I don't think it's that good of a movie. Short Night of Glass Dolls, if you want to argue that's not a giallo film, I'll get into it with you, and I'll argue my side, you can argue your side. But Byleth, or Byleth, whatever, Demon of Incest, I call it a period gothic giallo, and it might be one of like maybe a fistful of films that do that. It's got a lot of visual cues for giallo, but yeah, I mean, it's part of me wants to say it is kind of worth checking out, but it's such a slog. Death Falls Lightly. Death Falls Lightly also had potential. That one is a really rough watch. It's just it is, again, for the people who are like big giallo fans, it's like, yeah, I would say you should watch all of these if you're interested. If you're kind of gonna pick and choose which ones you see, I don't think you need to see Death Falls Lightly. It is the idea behind it is better than the execution, unfortunately. I Due Gattone, whatever, the two big cats and 9 tails and a half in Amsterdam, or whatever, the comedy. I will say this. If the comedies can get a good release and be put on some Vinegar Syndrome box set of like Italian spoof comedies, I think it's worth it. Do I want to say it's worth seeing? You know, this is okay. Fuck, is it worth seeing, or does it have potential? These guys are like really famous in Italy. I'm going to say, gosh, because as of right now, it's not worth seeing because you can't find it with English subtitles. The English subtitles are auto-generated, and they're not good because it's auto-translated. So you lose a lot of the jokes, but it is a lot of physical humor. I'm going to say it's worth seeing. A lot of people may shit on me for that. I did think it was funny, and I wish I could have laughed more at some of the jokes, but it is what it is. Creeping Death, also called the Killed the Poker Player, had potential. It's not terrible, but it's yeah. Naked Girl Killed in the Park. This has also had potential. I mean, the frickin' naked girl in the park, which that happens like an hour in the movie, and it's not even a park. It's like the backyard. It's very forgettable. There was a interesting bit in the beginning with some like World War II stuff, and then that comes back in the end. But a later giallo film has done it better. Boy, so far I've got this really stacked as like negative. Delirium. I like Delirium. I did like it. I feel like it does not get a good rep. I don't know why. Ultimately, this is one of those movies that I went into with like no expectations for, and it surprised me. Same with Amuck, same with Smile Before Death. A lot of these movies I went into like I don't know anything about it. I did my overview like report on it, but actually watching it, I was like, oh, this is good. My opinion. What is this? So Sweet, So Dead. Worth seeing. Some people have this one really high, and some people have this as like 10 giallo films you should watch to get into the genre. I don't know why. I think this is a movie that could easily turn a lot of people off to. Two Faces of Death. Two Faces of Death is worth seeing. I think that one should get picked up. I think that one should get picked up by Vinegar Syndrome or Arrow, or probably Vinegar Syndrome because they're more likely to do obscure titles. Arrow is more likely to do like a safe title, something that they know they're going to make money on. Vinegar Syndrome, I feel like, is way more likely to do something that they'll take a risk for. But yeah, I would say Two Faces of Death is better than Mariella and Death Falls Lightly and all those others. Smile Before Death. Love it. Smile Before Death was really good. Really, really surprised me how much I liked it. And yeah. Don't Torture a Duckling is essential viewing. You could watch that and not be a Giallo fan, I think. You are going to appreciate it a lot more, but yeah, that is certainly probably in the Giallo top 10 Hall of Fame. Is it in my top 10? I don't know. Because when I do these rankings like individually for a year, I find myself like, oh, not actually really putting him that high, but I know a lot of people love it. Death Walks at Midnight, which, by the way, I accidentally used the Death Walks on High Heels poster in my video. Sorry about that. Death Walks at Midnight, I like it. I'm sorry, but I'm not crazy about Luciano Ercole. I think Death Walks on High Heels is his best film. Best Giallo film. I think, did he make other movies that weren't Giallo? I don't know. Not important. But in terms of the Giallo films, I think Death Walks on High Heels is my favorite. Forbidden Photos is like, it's good. Death Walks at Midnight, it's good. Devil in the Brain. Devil in the Brain, I like it. This one also needs a remastering, and it needs to be released by Vinegar Syndrome or somebody. It was pretty damn good. Did I upload it? I don't recall, but it's good. It's just, you're going to be watching it in shitty quality, but I thought it was a really good mystery. 7 Murders for Scotland Yard. Had potential. Again, it wasn't that great. Wasn't that great. I could even maybe put that in Completionist Only. Yeah. I probably could actually buff that one down. Let me see. Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually going to say that was Completionist Only. That one, if I recall, was just not good. The Dead Are Alive, also called The Etruscan Kills Again. Do I think this is worth seeing? Or do I think it had potential? This one is honestly like in between. I will edge this one out for now. Yeah. Could have been so much better. The premise seems so much better, but ultimately it's not bad. It's unique, but I feel like it kind of dropped the ball a little bit. Knife of Ice. Knife of Ice is now in here between worth seeing and I like it. I like it. It's not great. In terms of Umberto Lenzi, I feel like he's made a lot better. It's odd that he did 2 Giallo films this year that are more in the tradition of a black glove killer, and I feel like they're just not as good as his 1960s proto-Giallo films that are way more of erotic thrillers. I just think he did that way better. Love and Death in the Garden of the Gods, I like it. That one, again, needs a remastering. I think it was really good. Really solid mystery, really good storytelling device. Check it out. Red-Headed Corpse. Boy, this one was rough for me, but I don't want to say it's Completionist Only. I would say it had potential. It had potential, but the idea just was not executed well enough to carry that one all the way through. Okay, Your Vice. Do I want to put Your Vice as essential or love it? I'll say essential. Your Vice is essential. That is essential Sergio Martino, essential Anita Strindberg. It's got an all-star cast. It also has Edwidge Fenech, who gets top billing even though she doesn't show up for like the first 40 minutes of the movie. Luigi Pistilli is in it. Ivan Rasimov is in it. It's great. The music by Bruno Nicolai is great, although it sounds very similar to the music he did for the Red Queen Kills 7 Times. Oh well. Oh well. It is still very, very, very good. Also, it's one of the better Edgar Allan Poe type adaptation things. I say type because it's not like a one-to-one. What is this one called? Terror with Cross Eyes. This one also is like worth seeing if it can get better. The movie also, what I watched, had like a chopped off beginning, I think, and a chopped off ending. I would say it's probably had potential. I'd say it's not as funny as The Two Big Cats, but it's still. So if I had to, I'd probably give the edge out to Two Big Cats. Eye in the Labyrinth. Eye in the Labyrinth is between worth seeing and I like it. I do like it. It is a little bit of a hard... I'll edge this one out. I'll say I like it. Because I do want to say I think it's better than the movies I have beneath it. So I'll bump Eye in the Labyrinth up. Who Killed the Prosecutor and Why? Not a fan. Between worth seeing and had potential, I got to be honest, I don't remember this movie. I remember, what's his name? Lou Castel is in it. I remember the beginning where he's photographing the assassination or the bombing or whatever the fuck it is. Ultimately, yeah, this one I would say probably just had potential. I mean, it should get a remastering. That would be cool. Funny looking at this, there's like White Dress for Marielle and Death Falls Lightly are two movies that have had restorations that I'm like, I would have picked other movies over those. Crimes of the Black Cat is worth seeing. I'm not a big fan of, what is his name? Anthony Stephan, whatever his name is. I'm not a big fan of him. He's really wooden. He gives very wooden performances. Here, he gets away with it, I think, because the character is blind. I'm not... That sounds kind of fucked up, but it kind of... His performance, his way of performing kind of works for the character. It's interesting, the story, the unfolding of everything, and what gives this movie an edge in terms of like, okay, that's cool, is that razor kill at the end, which is incredibly graphic, and it just felt like they saved everything for that one moment. So, cool. French Sex Murders is worth seeing. I don't hate it as much now as I did, but it is still not one of my favorites. I wouldn't say it's necessarily wasted potential. Looking at it, I would say I probably enjoy it more than the other movies. Yeah, I would say so, because it's not painfully boring as some of the other ones are. Yeah. What Have You Done to Solange? Essential. What Have You Done to Solange is great. Is it one of the top 10 giallo films ever made? I can see it being in there for some people. Otherwise, I would say it should certainly be in like the top 25, but it is, I would say, essential viewing. Murder Mansion. One of those. Is it a giallo? Is it not? How much do I dislike this movie? You know, I don't know if I want to put this in Completionists Only, but this is between Had Potential and Completionists Only. Ooh. I'll say it had potential. Because when I think about it, maybe it's because I did a gialli tally for it, so I actually remember stuff in it. It's not as bad. It's not as bad as that first viewing. There's things that grew on me, but ultimately still, was not really won over by it. Night of the Scorpion, Spanish giallo. I'm going to say Completionists Only. I don't remember this one. Maybe it was because it was one of the first ones I covered. I didn't think the mystery was too compelling. It actually made me crack up. I did a video This was one of the last videos I think that I did a viewing recording for. I cracked up at the reveal. I'm watching the end of the movie. So if it's the groundskeeper, I'm gonna be pissed. What the fuck? Oh no, it's exactly who we thought it was. So that was funny, but beyond that, I don't know if it's worth really your time. Also, it is a Spanish giallo, and a lot of people are going to say that's not even a real giallo because it has to be Italian, blah, blah, blah. Tropic of Cancer. Tropic of Cancer is worth seeing. I wouldn't say I like it particularly. I don't hate it, but it's fine. It's fine. And it's leading the gialli tallies with the most points. The killer is on the phone. Killer's on the phone. Had potential. Yeah. The weapon, the hour, the motive. This is another one that's worth seeing. Can't say I really like it. It's fine. Any of the ones that are in worth seeing. It doesn't mean I don't like it. It's just like, it's fine. And the had potential, I guess I could also say, sight. 7 Bloodstained Orchids. Y'all are gonna hate me. 7 Bloodstained Orchids is worth seeing. I can't say I particularly like it, but there it is. You know what's funny? I just had this thought. I'm looking at my list, and I feel like most other people who would do this would probably have it stacked in the other direction, where almost everything is amazing. And it just makes me think, like, what makes you, in other fans, what makes you more of a fan yourself? That you love and worship everything, or that you love the genre but you could still be critical of stuff that's just not living up to it? Because come on, let's be honest. For the most part, giallo films are not, like, great. I said it. And I've said this before. I'm also a fan of kaiju films, Godzilla films, and for the most part, they're not great cinema. I mean, thank you, Criterion Collection, for picking up all of the Showa Godzilla films, but they're not, like, great films. They're not going to be in most people's top 50 films of all time, but we still love them. We still enjoy them. So I just hope people are like, he had mostly negative movies. Does this guy even like giallo films? Yes. I have an entire channel dedicated to it. The Red Queen kills 7 times. Ooh, people are going to be mad if I don't say this is essential. I love it. I love the Red Queen, but I don't think it is top tier essential. Now, I would say it's the best Emilio Paolo Maraglia giallo film, but that's not saying much because the other one was The Night Evelyn Came Out of the Grave. So it's better than that. The music is really good. However, like I said, it does sound very similar to the music in Your Vice, but who cares? Bruno Nicolai did 5 soundtracks for giallo films this year, so he probably is going to recycle a few things and tweak a few things. But yeah, I would say it's more on par with those Silvio Amadio films, Amuck and Smile Before Death, than I think it is on par with the others. And it is good. It is good. But this is a movie. So the other 2 movies that I have and love it, I went into with no expectations, and I was blown away. Red Queen kills 7 times, I went in with big expectations because everyone's like, it's so great. And ultimately, I thought it is really good. I do really like it, but I feel like there were some things that just made it just wasn't, like, perfect. It wasn't, in terms of like essential. I got into giallo films like over a decade ago, and I'd seen, like, I don't know, between 25 and 50. I don't know exactly what the count is, but I bought, like, everything I could from Blue Underground, which at the time was, like, the only distributor. And then, like, I think a few other things, but I don't remember. But in terms of these movies, Duckling, I think, is the only one of those that I had seen at that time. Yeah, Duckling is the only one I had seen at this time, aside for some of the other ones coming up, Who Saw Her Die, In Case of the Bloody Iris. But I had not seen Your Vice, but I'd wanted to. I had not seen Solange, but I'd wanted to. And I'd not seen Red Queen, but I'd wanted to. But do I feel like, man, I should have saw this movie earlier? Not necessarily. Your Vice, when I saw that, I did kind of, and Solange, I did feel like, boy, I wish I saw this. I wish I saw this earlier. So, again, this is just my ranking. I know a lot of you will have Red Queen as, you know, essential masterpiece. And that's totally fine. Who Saw Her Die? Essential. Aldo Lado, Ennio Morricone doing the soundtrack, George Lazenby, Adolfo Celli, Anita Strindberg, what's her name? Nicolita Elmi, the little girl. I really like this one. I've always loved this one. The music really does carry this movie. I do think if the soundtrack was different, I wouldn't have it as high. I would probably love it still if the soundtrack was you know, just serviceable. But holy crap, the soundtrack is really doing a lot of heavy lifting. And it's not doing a lot because the movie itself is great. I would say this is also the quintessential Giallo in Venice film. There's a lot. There are a lot. There's at least 5. But and this one is easily the best. The Cat in Heat. I'm going to say The Cat in Heat is worth seeing. I think this did get a recent re-release, but not from the main distributors that I usually go to. But I enjoyed this one. It's more like a 60s Giallo, which I have no problem with. Some people get really antsy about, oh, there's no ongoing murderer, so that's not a Giallo. Who the fuck asked you what your definition of a Giallo film is? There's nowhere written that it has to have an ongoing killer running around in black gloves and we don't know who the killer is, and that's the whole point. Like, it doesn't have that written anywhere that's what the definition of a Giallo film is. But yeah, The Cat in Heat, I remember seeing that at the beginning when I was jumping through these 1972 films, and I still remember a good chunk of it. Granted, not a whole lot happens. I did remember a lot that happened in it, and I did think that, yeah, I wish this one had a better release because it would be worth kind of getting into. My Dear Killer. I think for most people, they would probably say this is worth seeing or like it. I am going to... Oh, my finger is stuck here. I am saying it's essential. I absolutely love this Giallo film. If you've seen my 72 recap, spoiler alert, this is my number 1 film for 1972. I went in with 0 expectations. 0. I had never heard of this movie. All I know was when I started getting back into Giallo films, and I was like, I'm gonna do that channel that I always wanted to do. Why not? Oh, there's some Giallo films on Shudder. Oh, there's this Giallo Essentials, or no. There's these Forgotten Gialli things, box sets that have come out. Oh, some of them are all on Shudder, and I watched like My Dear Killer, French Sex Murders, The Girl in Room 2A, Autopsy, a few more. I watched a bunch. Most of them did not leave any impression on me. However, My Dear Killer, I remember just being entirely blown away. George Hilton's performance, the mystery, the whole hoops it jumps through, the twists and turns, the kill with the electric saw. Amazing. Case of the Bloody Iris. Well, shit, if I have Your Vice up in essential, Case of the Bloody Iris is essential. I think that makes sense. Now, I imagine someone on the spectrum is probably going to go through my ranking and say, like, you had this movie above this one, but you have this one higher in the ranking. That doesn't make sense. And you're probably right. But this looks right to me. So, yeah, I'm happy with this. I could probably have had more movies in my love it. But yeah, no, that looks right on for me. You could tell me what your S tier top Giallo films are for this year, 1972. If you're going to ask why I didn't cover this film or that film, if it's not 1972, well, there's your answer. beyond that, yeah, I will try and go and do some of these for the other years, 1971, 1970, and then the 60s. I do need to catch up on some giallo films, and it has been a while since I've watched anything before 1972. It's been at least 2-3 years. So there's that, but like I said, these are so easy to do. So no problem at all. Thank you for watching. Thank you if you made it to the end. Let me know what your thoughts are in terms of your own rankings. As I've said before, I do enjoy the palaver. I do enjoy the back and forth, the conversation, because I don't have anybody to talk to other than y'all in terms of giallo films. And I know we're going to have very different rankings, and that's totally fine, because it's not like my opinion affects anything. This is just my thoughts. But thank you for watching. Thank you if you made it to the end. Thank you if you are one of my patrons. And even if you're not, thank you for just watching. Thank you if you're subscribed. If you're not, consider subscribing. I do giallo content all the time. I'm going to be adding X-Files content, and I'm going to be adding Polizioteschi and probably eventually spaghetti western content. But don't expect that too soon. But yeah. Anyways, thank you again once again. Thank you one and all, ladies and gentlemen, and anything in between. This is Tanner Leeser for The King in Giallo, and if nothing else, I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.
I'm the inspector! This is my case! I'm the inspector! I'm the inspector!